Welcome back and thank you for joining me for class 3 of our 4-part yoga series, Yoga for Parents and Caregivers. The focus of our class today is on support. And the way we'll be building that is by warming up our body and then doing a series of 3 more challenging poses together, while also joining each other together for a purposeful rest after those poses. What you'll need for class today is a mat or a chair and access to a wall. Don't need the mat really actually that much, but definitely the chair and access to a wall. And we can go ahead and get started. So find your alignment here in seated mountain pose with your knees over your ankles, your shoulders over your hips. Your feet are pressing into pads of your foot. Yeah, using that part of your foot to really press into the earth can relieve some compression on your lower back. Kind of prop the whole rest of your spine up. The crown of your head feeling like it's being pulled from the top of your head straight up to the ceiling with your hands on your thighs. So take a minute here to find your breath. Start breathing if you've been holding your breath. Filling up first your belly, your chest, and your lower throat. Exhaling throat, chest, belly. Working through our practice today in 3s. So during our poses, we'll either be holding each pose for 3 breaths or doing 3 repetitions through. Choosing the number 3 just to help us remember for consistency. If we do the number 3 for everything, it'll help us remember to do it. On your next inhale, raise up through the crown of your head, float the neck down toward one side. Trying to bring your ear toward your shoulder, stopping when there is any sensation moving toward pain. On your 3rd breath, come back to center. Finding realignment if you've lost it. Inhale, dropping the head to the other side. After your 3rd breath, coming back to center. Floating the hands down by your sides, bringing the shoulders up, and rolling them backwards 3 times. Have your hands here. You can also have your hands up here. Pausing the video if you want to go crazy and do a bunch more shoulder rolls. If not, take a moment to pause at center. Inhale, exhaling. Rolling the shoulders forward. After your 3rd, bring your hands back to your knees, finding that rest. Moving now into your version of our seated cat-cow pose. This can be done in 2 ways. Finding your hands on your knees, inhaling, bringing the chest forward, shoulders back. Exhaling, rounding the spine, bringing the head and shoulders forward, all the while keeping your bum rooted in the same spot. Or you can bring your arms, rounding your arms, bring them together forward, clasping your hands. Inhaling, raising your arms above your head. Exhaling, rounding the spine intentionally forward. And then inhaling back up. Whichever way is most comfortable for you, we're gonna move into 2 more of them now. And keep your eyes open. Or keep this a soft gaze. Rooting through the feet firmly into the floor to alleviate any pain or pressure in the lower back once you begin to feel it, if you feel any. Go ahead and pause the video if you'd like to do a few more cat-cows. We're moving on to our sun breaths. Rooting back into alignment, adjusting the feet, taking a minute to grab a block or a towel to put in between your legs. If you have any pain in your lower back, recommending it if you have sciatic pain as well. Pressing into your legs, pressing into the block or towel, whatever you have. Otherwise, pressing firmly into the floor and into the chair. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Inhale, float the arms up overhead. Exhale, back down. 2 more at your own pace. When you're done with your third, put your block or your towel to the side. This would be a great place to pause the video and stop if you just have a quick few minutes to need a warming up, jumpstart your day. But now we're going to move into the real meat of our practice together. So we're going to work through and hold 3 more challenging postures, holding them each for 3 breaths. And then moving with your natural breath, whatever works, as long as you're breathing. Hold for 3 seconds. So either holding for 3 breaths or for 3 seconds, and then coming back to find a supportive resting pose together for 3 breaths. In this way, acknowledging that even if we're on our own doing hard things, there are other people out there also doing hard things, and also taking time for themselves. So in this moment, even though we're far apart, we can be together doing the challenging things we do every day, and also making time for the things we need and the rest that we need to recover and rejuvenate so we can continue to do those hard things. From here, go ahead and move your chair off to the side. We are going to need it, so this is where you'll want to put it up against a wall, or any place that you know it won't skid around, move around, because we'll be using it for some support. For this reason, you do not want to do any of these poses with a stroller. Even if the wheels are locked, you could still fall over, someone else could fall over, whatever. And PSA, for yoga purposes, any other purposes, if you're working with or caring for a loved one who uses a wheelchair, or just know someone who uses a wheelchair, it's not a place for you to lean. It's not ever appropriate for you to be putting your body, resting your stuff, anything on it. So don't do that. Not cool. It's an extension of someone's body. Leave them alone. Alrighty, once your chair is next to you, go ahead and put your feet hips width distance apart, pressing into your toe pads or the balls of your feet. Rolling your shoulders back, having a slight bend in your knee, and always keeping a slight bend in your elbows as well to keep your circulation going. Palms facing forward, gaze also forward. We're going to do a forward fold and hold it for 3 breaths or 3 seconds. So float the arms up, Bringing the hands together, but hinging at the hips. Slowly bring the arms and the crown of the head down forward. Resting your hands on your legs or your thighs for support, going down for only the amount of time in the distance that you feel comfortable with. Our goal is 3 seconds and 3 breaths. Do whatever is safe for you. To your third breath, press into your feet. Slowly roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Carving a line into your chest with your nose to help bring that head up one at a time. Feeling a little bit more awake now. Stand for a minute with either your palms facing out to receive or your palms facing backward to ground into 3 breaths worth of rest. Keeping a slight bend in the knee. Now turning to face your chair, or moving into a downward facing dog, which is why you want to have your chair against a wall, something that's not going to move. That way, as you put your weight into the chair, it's not going to slide out from underneath you. So bringing your feet, let's say, about 3 steps back from your chair. Find your feet hips width distance apart, rolling the shoulders up and back, palms facing forward. More of a bend in the knees now, and inhale, raise the arms overhead, bringing the body up, and then floating the hands back down onto your chair. Using your hands to support your body enough so you can have a slight bend in the knee, and then step your feet back, bend your knees, and raise your hips up. Remember, we're only here for 3 breaths. That's 2. At your third breath, walk your feet up to the chair, dropping your head down in a forward fold, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Finding mountain pose. Slight bend in the knee. Leaning into these 3 restful breaths. Do the second super hard thing and took time for rest and recovery after it. We're gonna do our last super hard thing and then be on to our longer rest and recovery. So we're moving into plank. We're doing plank with a chair. To safely do that, we're gonna set up our arms first and then walk our feet back. So similar to how we did with down dog, take a few steps back from your chair, planting your feet hips width distance apart or wherever is comfortable and supported for you. Floating the arms up, bend in the knee, bringing the arms down to your chair, finding a spot where you can grip on and have a slight bend in your elbows. Now, when we step our feet back this time, we're gonna bring the body forward and try and flatten out our back. So there's always going to be curves in your back, right? Curves in your butt, curves in your shoulders. Down dog, we have our butt in the air, hips in the air. With our plank, your shoulders are working toward being over your wrists with one line connecting your ankles and your head. This is way more than 3 seconds, so if you're done, to get out of this pose safely, deeper bend in the knees and walk the legs up. Forward fold. Slowly coming back up. Rest. That was not restful. This is where you can take time to take your 3 seconds and 3 breaths in our mountain pose. This is our final resting posture of the day. Taking time here to acknowledge that you can and you do hard things every day. Even though your schedule's tight and there's so much going on, you also have time to give yourself some support. I know that others are out there working to build that support in their lives too, and that are supporting you as well. Wiggling your fingertips, wiggling your knees, floating the eyes open if they were closed. Taking a minute to celebrate and acknowledge that you took time for yourself, did something healthy for your body and for your mind. And I'll invite you to continue and expand upon your practice of just one breath. So as you're looking through your planner and your calendar, your phone, your hands today, wherever you write your to-do list, choose one thing, and before you start it, pause, take one breath, and I'll challenge you to add 2 postures to it. So add in a forward fold, or a neck stretch, or a cat-cow. See if you can build up, add on to your just one breath with a couple other things that can make your body feel good in the middle of a crazy busy day. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time for the 4th class for our Yoga for Parents and Caregivers series.